The FC26 market has crashed hard 2 weeks in a row. And even though yesterday on Tuesday, we had a really nice rise, a healthy market for once, it didn't last very long. Maybe 24 hours. The market is right back down to where it started. And the question has to be asked, is it going to get worse? Are we going to see a market crash for the third week in a row? And if you're tired of losing coins during these market crashes and your team's dropping in price, today's video is the one for you, because I'm going to be talking about cards you need to avoid going into this weekend, and cards that are no risk investments that, even if everything does hit the fan, are still going to make you coins. So today we're going to be talking about that, answering the question if the market is going to crash, and we've got a leaked evolution that is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks that we can prepare for. We also have the entire leaked Ratings Reload Team 2 that I'm going to show you guys, cards that are going out of packs, and some leaked SBCs that we have to cover in today's video. So if you're excited, drop a like on the video. We're going to go for 350 likes today, and let's hop into it. What's the most important thing in FC26 Ultimate Team? It's coins. And where can you get the cheapest coins? At Loot Bar. It's the cheapest and it's the safest coin trading platform on the entire market. It's 10% cheaper than all the other platforms. And if you use my code Nitro, they're going to give you an extra 8%. And if that's not enough percent, they're going to give you 5% more coins than what you even paid for. Loot Bar has quick delivery within a half an hour. Big creators use it, and it also has great reviews. Don't forget code Nitro at checkout. We just got news that a brand new card design was added to FC26 and is expected to come out as an SBC soon. And even though we don't know the exact player yet, if you've played Ultimate Team at all before FC26 Ultimate Team, you know this is an end of an era card coming for SBCs of players that are iconic and retiring. And there's a couple of players who are very notable that have announced their retirement recently. The most of all, probably Brad Guzan, an absolute goat in between the sticks, a spider, if you will. The longevity of this man playing in both the MLS and the Premier League, absolute legend. And then two of the more average players, maybe not quite to Brad Guzan's level, that have retired or announced their retirement at the end of this season, are going to be Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba. These cards, you know, they might be more fringe. You know, Brad Guzan is a lock, but Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba also could come as end of an era SBCs. And if that is the case, there's an obvious player to link with in this scenario, and that would be Lionel Messi. This guy right here is going out of packs as well. And so Lionel Messi is the first investment that I'm talking about in today's video, because he's going to be in Ratings Reload Team number 2. That means he gets pulled out of packs on Friday. The hype for him going out of packs, the hype for these new end of the era SBCs, I think could push that gold card of Messi up a little bit. Again, it is all about selling into the hype. I probably won't even wait till these SBCs are even leaked or announced. As long as we see a little bit of a rise on this card, then I'm happy. So that's kind of what we're aiming for right here. But the main thing that we have to be investing for right now is going to be Rivals rewards, guys. And even though I am going out and buying a couple of these Lionel Messis right now, trying to get some decent deals on this card at about, 8,500 might be a decent deal right there. Maybe I'll try to snipe for a little bit less than that. But it is the Rivals rewards that are coming out here in a couple of hours. Every single week, we get these rival rewards, and they end up boosting the market. Now, it's not as much as previous years, because in previous years, we had way more tradable packs, and people got way more coins for getting a decent, run in Rivals or getting the upgraded rewards. All you do is you get, 7K coins, or depending on what division you're in. I'm on Division 6 on my new account, so I get 7K. If you're on a higher division, you get more coins. If you're in a lower division, you get less coins. But everybody pretty much gets this untradeable player pick as well, which adds a little bit of supply to the market. But overall, the market does rise because people end up using those coins to buy more players, and it's a pretty healthy time on the market overall until you get to marquee matchup rewards, which come out at content time. So you've got a little bit, plenty of hours to sell cards and flip them, and buying right now, pretty much right when this video comes out, not just necessarily the cards we talk about today, but pretty much any meta cards, they will rise a little bit going into the morning. Enough for some flips, but not enough to expect to double your coins or anything. But those rival rewards are coming out. So today we're going to talk about some of those flips that we can make. And we're also going to talk about more leaked SBCs, because we don't just have end of the era. We also have a leaked Showdown SBC. The leaked Showdown SBC is Ricardo Calafiori or Dean Huijsen. You can choose either of the center backs. And given the fact that both of these cards link very well, it's a good SBC in theory, as long as they price it right. it could be one that really moves the market. And over the last couple of days, we haven't had too many SBCs that I thought, hey, these are really going to make a certain league's cards rise or a certain player rise. So let's take a look at what Calafiori and Dean Huijsen link to. Now, for Dean Huijsen, there are so many different cards to get chemistry on this player. The Dean Huijsen card, of course, is a center back from Real Madrid. So something I would not invest in is something like a Rudiger. I wouldn't invest in an Eder Militao because a lot of people might have that Eder Militao or have that Rudiger and sell it to do the SBC instead, and then that replaces that card in their team. It adds supply to the market for the center backs. But for the rest of the positions, people need them to link. So Spanish players from La Liga, there's obviously a lot of those on Barcelona with Pedri right there, with Alejandro Balde, and with Lamine Yamal. You could also go for Marcos Llorente, whether it's the gold Llorente, gold Balde, or upgraded Balde, upgraded Llorente. You've also got, just generally, you've got those Real Madrid players like Mendy, Courtois, Bellingham, and Camavinga, maybe Tchouaméni, right? Even though Tchouaméni also kind of plays center back and is much more cheaper card. And then Oyarzabal up top. All of those cards could potentially see a rise, but I would wait until we know exactly what day that this SBC is dropping, because what we do know right now is that there is going to be a market crash or somewhat of a market drop this weekend. Whether it's as extreme as the last couple of weeks, who knows yet? But we do know that over the last couple of weekends, there's been a big drop on the market overall for meta cards. So going and investing in a Lamine Yamal right now might be a very bad idea. Wait until that drop happens and wait until we know exactly what day this Showdown SBC is actually planning on coming out. Now, there's less links to the Ricardo Calafiori and a couple more cards that I'm more leaning towards as investments. Those Dean Huijsens, I mean, there's just so many directions to go with. With Calafiori, there's less ways to link that card. Of course, you could go to other leagues and maybe link to a Di Lorenzo in Serie A or link to some other players like Barella or Bastoni, which Bastoni obviously is a center back, so maybe not him, but other leagues could link to that Calafiori quite nicely. But there are some Italians in the Premier League that could be really, really good. And that Donnarumma card looks really nice to me because that card is obviously one of the more meta goalkeepers in the game. People would love to use that card. It is one of the best goalies in the game, and it's affordable to most of the casual players as well. So if this is an affordable SBC at like 40K or 50,000 coins for the Calafiori or Dean Huijsen, then what we might see is a big rise on cards that are of similar price, and that Donnarumma kind of fits that perfectly. So I like the Donnarumma a lot. I also like the Victor Gyökeres a lot. Now remember, these investments are risky. We're not to the no-risk investments quite yet because Nkapie right here, he plays the same position as Calafiori. I think that's too risky. Saliba plays center back. That's too risky. Tonali would be perfect. Honestly, this is a no-risk investment because he does link meta to Calafiori, Italian, in the Premier League. Could definitely go up a few hundred coins, maybe 1,000 coins if you're really lucky, and it's a great value SBC. The only problem with the Tonali is this card has been fodder pretty much since October 5th. This card went to fodder price at October 5th, and he's been the cheapest 86 in the game, or close to the cheapest 86 in the game. As you can see, Tonali, he's not on the list right now, but yeah, there he is, actually, 7.3 thousand coins. So he is a very cheap 86 rated, and it's going to take a lot to even get him to move off of being the, SBC fodder price of 86s. But that is no risk. I just wouldn't really suggest it as an investment because it's been fodder for so long. And then Chiesa is a low budget option, but it's still risky. Even at 1,100 coins, this card has been 1,000 coins a couple of times, and it drops like 1,000 coins every week. There's going to be a point very soon where this card is 750 coins. So even though it links well and it is meta, I just don't know if it's going to move enough for it to be a really good investment. So for me, the ones that I would go with is Gyökeres and Donnarumma. But again, that does come with some risk. We have to understand that over the course of the last couple of weekends, we've seen this big drop between Thursday all the way down to Monday. Thursday all the way down to Monday. Both weeks in a row, the entire meta market comes down. And even those cards that are super meta, like Donnarumma and Gyökeres, two of the best players in the game, realistically, have only dropped in price over the course of the last 2 weeks. Their biggest drops have come, one for Donnarumma on Friday. That card went from 90,000 coins all the way down to 64K during that weekend. And then as you can see, the next weekend, the biggest drop happened during that little market crash we had on Monday night. But it didn't really drop as much this recent weekend. So maybe he's settling down and finding his little price that he can sit at for a little while before the next huge market crash happens, which probably will come around the Ultimate Scream, which will be in a couple of weeks, or during Black Friday in November. So this Donnarumma card doesn't look too bad, but again, there is some risk that is involved with it. Now, when it comes to cards that you should avoid this weekend at pretty much every cost, it's most of the meta market that's in packs right now. You know, even cards like Reinders, who have seen an incredible rebound from that market crash that we had. That card got as low as 79K. He's almost at 100,000 coins now. It's still probably going to drop this weekend, maybe back to the price that he was at that market crash. Now, I don't think that these cards are going to drop as much as the last 2 weekends, but they are cards that are vulnerable to a drop from the weekend league rewards. So unless you are buying these cards right now within the first few hours of this video coming out for Rivals rewards, which I think is a good idea, maybe picking up cards like Dumornay, maybe picking up cards like Desiree Doué right there, Doku even could be a shout, Vandevin right there, Frimpong, Camavinga. A lot of these cards will rise over the course of the next like 18 hours, because up until marquee matchups, there's going to be a lot of buying power added to the game. People are going to be buying up their weekend league teams, but there's not a ton of supply because, as I showed, the division rivals supply isn't as much as previous years. So these will probably have like a 10 to 15, maybe 20% rebound over the next, 12 to 18 hours. There's a good flip right there for you guys to do tonight. But if it is Thursday already for you guys watching the video, I would just sell off those cards before marquee matchups and then buy back later in the weekend, especially if you're playing FUT Champs, guys. What I would do is I would buy your FUT Champs teams on Sunday night and play the game Sunday night up until it ends in the last few hours of weekend league, because then you're not going to see these cards drop so much over the course of the weekend. So many people play weekend league, they spend so much on their team, and then they might make some coins from that FUT Champs run, but they lose just as many, if not more coins, because the cards that they had in their team dropped while they were playing FUT Champs. So a way to avoid that is obviously buying on Sunday night. Now let's talk about no risk investments, cards that absolutely could not drop over the course of the next couple of weeks or this weekend when we expect the market to drop, but could still rise because of SBCs or from this evolution that EA Sports have not leaked but announced on their story. They say that there's going to be a Jamal Musiala inspired evolution with 5-star skills, a technical plus playstyle, and probably some stat boosts along with it. Now, if you remember last year, we got this Hey Jude FC25 evolution, which was a very similar concept. Cover star, and it gave you a playstyle plus. It gave you those stat boosts right there. You can see the Relentless plus that was added to that Keachvili card that people were using, and it was a pretty good boost. Now, I'm not expecting the boost to be as good this year, especially given what we've seen so far for evolutions, but it could be one of the better SBCs we get this year because of the skill move and the playstyle plus boost. The overall maximum last year was 83 rated. The overall pace was 80, playstyles maximum 8, playstyle plus max 0, roll plus max 0, and cam. Now, I'm not saying that those are going to be the exact requirements going into this year. You could extend the pace, maybe goes higher. I don't know. Maybe they don't have a playstyle requirement. Maybe it's a different position, though Musiala plays center attacking mid, and I just don't know why they would use a different position. But I did go out and I looked up some of the cards that could potentially fit that evolution, and as you can see, the top cards that are highest rated or highest price in those requirements would be a card like Fermin Lopez, which was in the very first team of the week. So given the fact that this has been out of packs for so long now, there's not much risk involved with it, and it's used in SBCs every now and then of people just needing a team of the week. Now, it's a little bit more expensive than other team of the week cards, so in theory, yeah, this card could go a little bit lower. You saw that it went down to, in that market crash, 15,000 coins from 19K, and at its low point over the last day, it's been about 15,750. So yeah, there's a little bit of risk, but overall, since this card just hasn't been in packs for a while, it's at a pretty low point right now, and it could fit into this evolution. I think this is a card that you can club stock at the very least. Now, if you want to go in heavy with an investment, that is up to you, and I think it could work out in the long term over the next 2 weeks, because it is 2 weeks until this evolution comes out, but it could rise into the hype. It could even rise for other reasons or other evolutions. So with that being said, it's a no risk investment that you should at least put one in the club. If you can get them for 15,500 or 15,750, there's just no risk, but a lot of upside with a card like that. And then when you look at some of the other cards like Lucas Bergvall, you look at cards like Pellegrini, maybe a couple of those Cornerstones cards, Carles Gil, I don't really love that. Angel Gomez, though, could be decent right there. You've obviously got some silver cards that are obviously very expensive right there. Paul Pogba could be a card that fits into that evolution. I would not buy that right now. He's kind of up in price. Ruben Loftus-Cheek could be a fantastic option right there. But you even look at cards like if they didn't use a pace requirement, then even Hugo Ekitike could fit that at center attacking mid. I already lost coins on him once this week, though, so I'm definitely not buying him, but just wanted to open your guys' mind up to some other ideas with that evolution. Now, obviously, fodder cards are also always no risk. We were able to make a lot of coins off of 87 rated. We got most of these cards for 10K or lower in price over the course of the last couple of days, and we sold those cards not for as much profit as I wanted them to go up to, because we did get that 87 maximum hero upgrade, and honestly got a lot of upvotes right there. As you can see, 67 upvotes, but I thought they were going to require an 87 rated squad, to be honest, and they required the 86 and 85 again. Pretty similar requirements to what we saw with the max 86 base hero pack, but the fodder cards moved up. They definitely did go up, but they just didn't go up as much as I was hoping. They went up to 11K. I was able to sell for like 11.5 for some of them for the 87 rated, and we did see the 85s and the 86 move up as well. 88s didn't really move too much. 84s actually went up slightly, and then obviously the higher rateds didn't really move up too much. Khadija Shah is actually going to be in this leaked rating reload, so if you were to invest in 89 fodder, that might be the way to go. So let me go ahead and show you guys the full ratings reload team number 2. We're going to have Messi, De Bruyne, Due, Yildiz, Shaw, James Grimaldo, Soboslai, Bacha, Yoro, Anthony Dumfries, Francisco Conceição, Bayer. We're going to have Crystal Dunn, Volgasdottir, Zigiotti, Ivan Romero, Suzuki, Joe. I can't even read that name right now. And then Kaminsky. So a lot of different cards that you could go for out of pack investments. Obviously, when it comes to that Evo, we just talked about, you know, the gold Soboslai could potentially fit into that Evo, but that card's going to come back into packs in 1 week's time. The Evo still won't be out yet. So I don't know if that's a great shout right there, but it could fit into some other Evos potentially while he's out of packs. So maybe that Soboslai gold card could be decent, but that's about it for today's video. What I did want to finish off with is how the hell do I unlock the transfer market on my phone? I like to list my cards overnight a lot. I like to use the companion app a lot. Every now and then I'll even use the web app, but I really want the companion app to get unlocked for me on my phone. I've had this account for like 10 days now. I have played 3+ matches every single day. I have done a ton of objectives. I'm already up to level 16. Do I have to complete diving in and then the on your way? Is that how I do it? I've even gone out of my way to play a career mode game, a pro clubs game. I've played different game modes all over Ultimate Team. And I just, like, obviously my transfer market's unlocked on the console. It's not unlocked on my companion app yet because it says I have to, you know, play more games. I have to be active on the game to unlock it. And it's still not unlocked. So if you guys have any tips and tricks, please leave them in the comment section down below. And if you guys want more trades and investments to make an FC26 Ultimate Team from the #1 trader of all time, you don't have to wait till my YouTube videos drop, and you're going to get them from Peppy, the #1 trader in the history of Ultimate Team. Then you should get Next Level FUT Trading. The link is down below. It's only €5 to get involved for your first 2 weeks. And there's a special annual access out right now, $19.99 a month, to get involved with the best trader in the game. I'll leave that link for you guys down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to drop a like. We're going for 350 likes, and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.